Nobody 2 is on its way. We are going to go over everything we know about the film, from the ending and post-credit scene to how it sets up Nobody 2. So, let's dive right in. The movie Nobody follows a straightforward yet thrilling formula. Non-stop action culminating in an explosive ending that paves the way for a potential franchise. The way Nobody wraps up hints that a sequel might already be in the works. The story centers on Hutch Mansell, played by Bob Odenkirk, a retired assassin turned family man who struggles with his failure to protect his family during a home invasion. This incident reignites Hutch's dormant fighting spirit, drawing him into a conflict with a dangerous Russian mobster named Ilya Kuznetsov. Hutch reverts to his old ways to safeguard his loved ones. In the movie's climax, Hutch's brother Harry RZA and father David, Christopher Lloyd, both also retired assassins, joins forces with him. Together, the Mansell family takes down Kuznetsov's entire mob. The final scene, set a few months later, shows Hutch and his wife Becca buying a new home and aiming for a fresh start. However, Hutch receives a mysterious phone call, suggesting he's officially back in the game. The identity and motive of the caller remain unknown, but this ending perfectly sets the stage for a Nobody sequel. Now, let's unpack the ending of Nobody and dive into who made that mysterious call to Hutch and what it signifies for the future. In the final moments of the film, we see Hutch and Becca being shown around a new home by a realtor. At first glance, it seems like a peaceful scene, indicating that Hutch has left his violent past behind and is fully committed to his family. But then, the realtor receives 2 consecutive calls, and Becca encourages her to answer the second one, which turns out to be for Hutch. Their immediate question about the basement hints at Hutch's preparedness for danger, suggesting that he's not entirely done with his old life. Hutch's decision to leave the assassin's life behind initially stemmed from envy towards someone who had settled down. He thought he had found contentment in his new family life, but the events of their home invasion made him realize that he missed the thrill of his former life. If there's a sequel, it's likely Hutch will grapple with the realization that he can't escape his true nature. By taking on Kuznetsov, Hutch inadvertently set off a series of dangerous events, akin to those in the John Wick series. While it initially seemed like a one-time deal, the call Hutch receives suggests otherwise. His contentment at the end implies that someone recognizes his skills and wants to enlist his services again. The upbeat tune, "Let the Good Times Roll," playing in the background, further suggests that Hutch's adventures are far from over. It looks like we might be in for more thrilling action in the future. In the post-credit scene of Nobody, we catch up with Harry and David after they've narrowly escaped the showdown with their Russian adversaries. They're cruising in an RV with a clear destination in mind, and a quick peek inside reveals it's packed with an arsenal of weapons. Harry, presumed dead, and David, supposedly retired in a nursing home, are unmistakably back in action. Their mission likely ties to the enigmatic phone call Hutch received in the final scene. Nobody emphasizes Hutch's unwavering dedication to protecting his family, and he's at his best when fighting alongside them. So, it's a safe bet that Harry and David are on their way to join forces with Hutch wherever he's settled, gearing up to assist him in his next endeavor. This is where Nobody diverges from the typical shoot-'em-up flick. Written by Derek Kolstad, who also penned the John Wick series, Nobody shares similarities with Wick's character, a legendary assassin. However, while Wick is a solitary figure with nothing left to lose, Hutch still has his family, drawing lines that can't be crossed. It's this dynamic that adds depth to Nobody and sets it apart from the rest. With that in mind, while many standalone movies hope to perform well enough to merit a sequel, Nobody sets the stage for a narrative that could span several films. The ending of Nobody introduces a compelling internal conflict for Odenkirk's Hutch, a man torn between his role as a family man and his violent past. Despite trying to embrace suburban life, he finds it unfulfilling, and his expertise in his former line of work constantly threatens the safety of his loved ones. While he's managed to create a temporary sense of security by ensuring his living arrangements include a fortified basement, it's clear that this won't suffice indefinitely. In Nobody 2, Hutch will likely be forced to confront the ultimate dilemma, choosing between his family and his dangerous profession. Additionally, Nobody ignites an external conflict for Hutch in its sequel. Kuznetsov, as a well-connected figure in the criminal underworld, likely as allies who will seek vengeance for his demise. Despite the Mansells' victory in eliminating the Russian threat in the first film, Kuznetsov's associates will undoubtedly retaliate, placing Hutch in the crosshairs of a new wave of adversaries. Much like how John Wick burns bridges in John Wick Chapter 4, Hutch will have to discern who he can trust and rely on in Nobody 2. This sets the stage for a multitude of potential villains and allies to enter the fray, creating the possibility for a series of interconnected films exploring Hutch's ongoing struggles and triumphs. As for the official word, Universal has given the green light to Nobody 2, with the first film's impressive $56 million box office haul against its modest $16 million budget, and the natural narrative step for a sequel. Fans can look forward to seeing Bob Odenkirk, RZA, and Christopher Lloyd back in action in the Nobody universe, though RZA and Lloyd's return hasn't been confirmed yet. Producer David Leitch expressed excitement about the project, stating, "Oh, I think everyone's excited about it. Everyone involved is like full steam ahead. We are in the script process, and I think we had so much fun making that. Kelly McCormick and I had a blast. The actors had a blast. The studio loved the results, and it's happening." Of course, greenlighting a film's development doesn't always guarantee its eventual release, as many projects get stuck in development limbo. However, there have been no such issues with Nobody 2, and the movie is already moving into production. Bob Odenkirk himself disclosed that filming for Nobody 2 could kick off as early as 2023. He added, "We need to make a great sequel, and so it's about making sure that we get it right." While it's not entirely clear if production has commenced yet, there's a possibility that Nobody 2 could hit theaters in early 2024, delivering another dose of adrenaline-pumping action less than 3 years after the original Nobody. That said, one burning question on many fans' minds is whether the Nobody sequel could potentially cross paths with the John Wick universe, perhaps even leading to a crossover featuring Bob Odenkirk's Hutch Mansell and Keanu Reeves' John Wick. Longtime admirers of both actors have speculated about the possibility of seeing their characters in the same film, possibly as part of a John Wick spin-off. Ilya Naishuller, the director of Nobody, has hinted at the potential for a shared narrative universe between John Wick and Hutch Mansell, even though they belong to different studios. Speaking to IndieWire, Naishuller mentioned that everything's possible and that stranger things have happened. While not a confirmation, this statement tantalizingly leaves the door open for future developments. Although not every successful movie necessarily needs a sequel, Nobody delivered an exhilarating revenge narrative that resonated with fans, akin to the adrenaline-fueled thrills of the John Wick franchise, which only seem to improve and rake in more money with each subsequent installment. Both series share thematic and tonal similarities, making them ideal bedfellows for potential crossovers. Moreover, the pairing of Keanu Reeves and Bob Odenkirk would undoubtedly provide fertile ground for intriguing chemistry development on screen. Whether it's in Nobody 2, an upcoming John Wick film, or a spin-off, the possibilities for David Kolstad to craft his interconnected universe seem abundant and ripe for exploration. And that's a wrap for today's video, folks. But fear not, because we've got plenty more exciting updates about Nobody 2 coming your way. So stay tuned and keep those eyes peeled for all the latest juicy details. Thanks a bunch for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.